Hey everybody, before we get started, just a reminder this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Ahago Comics, Qua, Drago66, and Nestor Flores. If you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it would really help us out. Thanks for your support, everybody.
Thank you.
喜べ少年
That's right, everybody. It's time to give thanks with Let's Talk FGO, the show that is all about the cornucopia that is Fate Grand Order. And I put all my joke writing today into those first couple sentences, so I don't know, I'm just Omega or something, and that guy's lucky.
Yeah, what's up? I wasn't sure if you're going to go for some Thanksgiving jokes, but hey, you did not disappoint. I'm pretty sure everyone else is not disappointed as well.
God, I hope not.
I hope, me too. I hope everyone is enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka truly a time of giving. And while we here at Studio Mega like to bring you the latest FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about the current and future events for both JP and EN versions of the game. So anyone not wanting spoilers should just go have no fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah, so, we're here. We're doing a thing.
Yeah, we're doing our weekly thing.
Yep, it's the thing we do.
Yeah, unfortunately, we say weekly, but if you guys have noticed, probably in this last week, there was a bit of a delay in getting the last episode out, so I kind of want to just get that elephant out of the room real quick.
Sure.
So, basically, Editor Lucky was actually doing his fucking job for once, but we had a plethora of technical difficulties in trying to get the episode out. It took us a total amount of attempts of 3 tries over 3 days to get the video up. And it was basically like once per day. Because, as I said, these, the video files, when we upload them to YouTube, those are several gigs worth of data. And I'm sorry, I do not have no cutting edge computer to upload these things on. So it takes a while. Usually I go to work or go to bed and just come back and be like, okay, it's done.
Yeah.
That was not the case this time. Instead, I came home and either my computer was off or it just stopped mid-upload, or on the third time, it actually worked. So, again, I made a small note in the description, but I know some of you people do not read the description.
Some people don't read, yes. That's why we do an audio show.
Yep. So, just saying it right now, I apologize for the delay. I'll try not to let it happen again. It's totally gonna happen again.
That's because that's something we don't control. And I mean, I've calculated the shilling atmosphere, but you know, not necessarily shilling. But seriously, if you want no delays in getting the show, all it takes is $1 a month. You can get access to the audio, which is never late. It is precisely on time because, well, it's done immediately after we finish recording the show. So. Oh, also, you talked about it on WhatsApp, but you have wrangled some audio stuff, so hopefully you are no longer way quieter than me, and we are both about the same sound level.
That's what I'm hoping. I actually haven't listened to the WhatsApp.
I mean, I think it's fine. I'm looking at the sound waves right now. We're about the same.
That's good.
Yeah, we're about the same.
I said last week, I said we were about to I was about to work on some editing, and people were mentioning how it was kind of quiet, so I was looking at audios, and I was just like, well, fuck this. Fuck this, we're fixing this problem right now. And thankfully, it only took about 5 minutes to fix.
Yeah, so, but it was a very confused 5 minutes.
It was.
Especially since nobody would tell me what you were actually trying to do. Like, all I knew was you were doing something with audio, and I was, like, hopping in the conversation. I'm like, okay, but nobody's actually gotten to the part where they end the sentence and let me know what the subject of this discussion is. I think that took about as long to communicate as it did to fix.
A lot of people like to talk endlessly.
Yeah. Anyway, we're here. We're done with that. Hopefully it's done sooner, because this is a very timely show. Super timely. We were not scooped, because they held the panel on a Friday, thank God.
Thank God.
We'll get into that in just a second. First of all, let's do our regular segment for Pro Tips, which is super relevant right now.
Senpai! 起きてください.
That's right, it's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai, our regular segment for Pro Tips. This week's tip, the eternal pro tip, be ready for anything. Applies to both servers, but always expect the unexpected. You never know when a rerun might come up early. A surprise twist of events will result in a new banner or an unexpected windfall for St. Quartz and Apples. You are not in control of the schedule, and you will be less stressed if you accept this fact.
Yeah, I have nothing really much to add to that.
No, it's just it. It's just, hey, you're along for the ride, just Relax. Go with the flow. Empty
Strap
yourself.
in.
Become void. Ride the wind. Lots of other deep spiritual things we apply to this gacha phenomena.
Who knew that
but yeah.
could be such an enlightening experience?
Yeah, just don't try to grip it too hard. You can't control it, so relax. That's it. That's what we got. That said, I feel like it's a very good statement. There are times when our community does not seem very relaxed.
People like literally screaming about like how they need to grind for these things. I'm just like, you'll be okay.
And honestly, you know what? We've had times where we have definitely been no chill, not relaxed.
Yeah,
but we try to learn.
I'll say that's actually something I'll say. Like when I started playing FGO, I was all like, "Oh my god, events! Button mashing!" Ah! Now I'm just all like, "It's cool, bro. I have achieved my own sense of false enlightenment."
Yeah, you're giving me phantom finger pains.
Oh yeah, that was actually me like jamming my finger like really hard on the desk.
Yeah, I know, but I'm thinking of just slamming Santa Alter's navel right now and just I'm getting the phantom pains.
Whoa! Sorry.
Had to be done. Hey, let's because it's well, it's not fucking nothing because there's actual words written here, but it's mostly nothing this week. Let's move really quick into Records from the Throne.
Yeah.
Hey, so I made a big accomplishment thanks to the shitloads of Lotto EXPs. I haven't even touched the story XPs yet. I protected Herc's Smile. That's a big win for me.
That is a big win. For me, this probably isn't as big a win, but you know what? It's a win for waifus. I protected Brave Liz's smile.
And will this week Editor Lucky put a little graphic here? Who knows?
Editor Lucky's gonna be working with. I'm gonna use this as a segue real quick. A couple people were confused last week when Editor Lucky mentioned that he wasn't gonna be editing Let's Talk FGO. What he meant by that is he wasn't gonna be using Vegas.
Yes, which you said in a separate slide because Editor Lucky has comedic timing.
Yes.
But once again, as we said at the top of the show, people read ?
But he's switching to Adobe Premiere and After Effects, so he's going to try and get a lot more cool effects into the video, so it's more visually engaging.
Yes.
If not...
And also visually distinct, because it's funny. I suspect it's to do with that big survey that YouTube just had, which we took and had some thoughts on. Well, I took it for us, but yeah. I'm sure our responses would have been the same. So technically they changed the phrasing on whatever it was to reused content. But basically they clarified what word it was, which was, yeah, you're using too much shit that you don't own that's not in like a fair use way. So, yes, doing like visual distinctions over background images, perhaps, keeping our audio track in there along with music. Presumably no longer posting, because I mean, fucking Voice is monetized, and he uses fan art and official art and
I would actually
fucking
like to
Noble Phantasm videos all the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
He just
maybe it's because he
always makes sure to put his voice over them. I think is the key. We should ask Voice.
We can do like live reactions, I guess. It's like, oh shit, check this shit out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We should actually honestly ask Voice what the state of his video monetization is, like if he has any problems with certain types of videos. We can't right now though because he's at Anime NYC.
Yep, he's living the big life.
Him and every other fucking FGO YouTuber. Why weren't we invited, guys? Jeez.
I don't know. I mean, we seem to be hovering around like 1,200 subs here. I don't know. We're not big money yet.
Not yet. Someday. Someday,
One
though.
day.
We're growing.
I believe in us.
All right. Let's move to Skelegrams and let's actually talk about the news. Let's see. I don't think any of us has any particular need to talk about any subject, so I can go ahead and start.
I'll start,
you want to start?
here with... Yeah. Because I said, I think you're going to have more to say about the next subject. But over in Japan, Merry Christmas from the Underworld. It's a rerun running from November 14th to November 22nd. As I said, this is where you get your welfare Alteras the Santa with adorable bawling sounds. My body is not ready. But aside from this, there has been a very, very interesting update. From this point on, welfares, when you burn them, will give rare prisms. Which, I think it's fairly worth it considering they're
Mhm.
technically a 4-star servant.
Mhm.
But take note, this is explicitly not a retroactive rule. So all of us over here in playing the global version, there's no, at this moment there's no point to be like holding all your welfares in your second archive or anything like that.
Yeah, if they wanted this to be a retroactive rule, they could do like when they introduced rare prisms in the first place, which is just the server took note of when you burned a 4 and 5 star and give you the appropriate prisms in the present box. This is explicitly from this event on, this rule takes effect. So any past you have burned do not. Probably to avoid the fact that because you don't need spare copies of welfares, you burn them for prisms anyway. Thus, everybody would have shitloads of extra rare prisms all of a sudden.
Yep.
So there's no point in saving your spare welfares at this point. Like, they could totally, if they wanted to make it retroactive, they totally could have. So just, from now on, extras are rare prisms. And I don't think there's really anything else to note about the Christmas rerun, just it's the thing that's happening.
Yeah, I didn't hear about any new banners or anything like that. It's just a rerun.
Nope, nothing has rolled out yet. And it's got a few days before being over, so there's not going to be any news for a while. Okie dokie. Let's do the big one. FGO localization panel at Anime NYC. It was Friday. It was yesterday. It happened while we were recording What's Up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to hear a pseudo live reaction to some of the announcements, go and listen to that, because obviously our Discord was yelling about it, so I talked about it some in the middle of the show. But as people kind of thought, because it was a big long panel, there were quite a few announcements. So shout out to both our Discord community members for being like Johnny on the spot tracking all this, but also shout out to a couple of other those FGO YouTubers we mentioned. Voice is only physically at the convention today, Saturday, but I know that like Kalde Gurus was there, GNA Reviews, Shotgun Shogun, quite a few people in the FGO YouTube community were physically there and recorded the panel or streamed it and stuff. So they were the source for a lot of live responses, which got filtered to our Discord community, who lovingly recounted some of this stuff for us. There was also lots of people tweeting it, which I checked out. But okay, we got some big updates. Basically, I think all of this is described as part of a big Thanksgiving update. They're doing that again, but better. So first off, we got UI updates.
A lot of them.
Yeah. There were, 18 or 19 of them?
I think it was like 19.
Your cooldown time display is added when you improve skills, so now if your cooldown timer went down, you can actually see it in the little thing. We've got the overcharge indicator icon, so basically if damage or some other effect is improved by NP overcharge, there's a little icon to let you know. Time remaining to complete master missions will show up as a little warning. You can Saint Court summon even if your inventory is full. Something support setup. Literally, we don't know what this bullet point is about. It's something to do with your support setup visuals, but nobody can understand it. If you get it, write it down in the comments. The Servant CE enhancement visuals have been updated, which means that the bar no longer stops after one level. It keeps filling up so you can see how far it's going to fill up. There's that's a SW, but that should say SQ. There's an improvement to the display for when purchasing Sync Quartz. When you're looking at your Master Missions tab, it will now display your total Sync Quartz and Quartz Fragments. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So support setups will now show the skill and NP strengthen icons. So if there's a little icon to indicate that you've done this skill or strengthen icon in just your party or support window, not just if you click on the full profile, which used to be how you did it. Some shop items, or OSME shop items, as I wrote this. I was live transcribing this as somebody said them, so there's a couple errors in here, which I've left in because they're funny. Some shop items have been given an info button, so now you can look them up. There are a couple new places where your Servant Ascension status and your CE's Limit Break status are displayed. There is a special icon for limited items in the MP shop. There'll be a little, like a star or a little mark to let you know that this item is only for a limited time. Here's the big one, I think. There's a display for EXP cards when performing Servant Enhancement, aka the box. If you don't know this was actually earlier this year in Japan, where we talked about how cool it was. There's a little box that'll pop up when you pick a Servant for enhancement, which displays all your available embers and how much you have of them and of what type in a little special display. As opposed to, like, scrolling through all the icons. So that's really rad.
That is super rad. I think that's my favorite update.
The visuals have been reworked so it increases the number of items that can be displayed at a time in a couple places. There's an icon for if a debuff is blocked. So like if an enemy, I think it's if you try and debuff an enemy and it's blocked, it's shown, but might be some other places. I wrote this kind of weird, but I remember what the rule is. But now there should be an icon to indicate if you are bypassing invincible or evade. Basically, there's an icon to indicate you are piercing or sure hitting. And there's an option to return party name to default. There's a confirmation to data updates added, so now you can, like, if you're out and about and you're on mobile and you don't want to update the app, you could always tell it, no, don't update yet. And also, servant enhancement animations have been updated. So, here is probably the next big things. There are several system updates. Those are all just user interface stuff. These are actually, like, core code updates. 1, friend messages. Now you no longer have to change your player name to 200SQ No Jolter. You have a little friend message box which can be displayed, which goes under your player name. So now feel free to shout whatever dumb messages you want.
I'm gonna shout so many dumb messages.
Oh yeah, you are. I see. I almost never look at the AL Guild, but I see you in there occasionally changing messages and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I haven't done that in a while. I should do that.
You can skip enemy fade out now. Not just servants, but all enemy fade outs you can tap to skip. That's great. Speeds that along. There's now an auto text function. You can set the text to just run automatically. You don't have to tap. Here's another great one. Select sort. You can now favorite certain servants so that they always appear at the top when you're doing sorting for different things. Not like favorite like My Room favorites, but like they're your choice selection. We've got Zoo on Saint Graphs. You can now adjust your icon sizes a little bit. And bond level playback, so you can adjust what bond level dialogues you get in My Room.
Mm-hmm.
That's all super cool. And then, because it's a Thanksgiving event, there's a bunch of login rewards. There's some quartz, some tickets, there's some foes, there's a fuck ton of apples. It's like, was it 6 of every type?
It's like the only food they got. If you're gonna fill a cornucopia basket, might as well fill it with apples, I guess.
So, the panel was only... This isn't in their show notes, but we should say it. The panel was only like 3 quarts, as opposed to like I think it was like 10 last year. So we're technically between the panel and Thanksgiving getting less SQ, but we're getting quite a bit more apples, which is something we technically need more as a server. Like we're behind a little bit in St. Quart's distribution, and we always will be. Quite frankly, we will always be a little bit behind in SQ distribution, just because, like we talked about last week, there's a very much different in scale of involvement and thus scale of rewards. Like, we could not necessarily swing, you know, what was it, 100k retweets for 30 quarts, right? And I know some people in the comments doubted us. They were like, no, if we got real rewards, we could get people into Twitter. But I'm like, I don't know about that, because people seem so lackluster about the retweeting campaigns, and it's not even retweeting, it could be Facebook shit. Remember when Facebook was fucking everything?
It's literally over 2 social media campaigns that we're not making these goals.
You don't even have to retweet, you just have to favorite. Yeah, it's just like, I'm sure there would be more response if the rewards were bigger. Like, we could easily make rewards if they were like 10 SQ as opposed to like 3, but at the same time, it's like, God, we just don't have the engagement. I'm fairly sure we don't, because I keep talking to people wondering about these rewards, and it's just the engagement isn't there. I don't know. People are allergic to Twitter in the US all of a sudden. Unless you're an artist.
My thought on that, like, people, like, St. Quartz is St. Quartz. If you want 10 St. Quartz, you're gonna go for it if it's free. If it's 3 St. Quartz, you're gonna go for it because it's free. Like, the amount of St. Quartz isn't going to necessarily, like,
yeah, it's not necessarily going to drag new people in.
Yeah, no, because like I'm like honestly,
because let's be real, it's Twitter, guys, or it's Facebook. If you're using Twitter and Facebook, the decision, well, I wouldn't retweet this or favorite it for 3 quarts, but I will for 10. No, people don't think like that. You either have the wherewithal to favorite or retweet something, or you don't.
Yeah, like 3 quarts is 3 quarts, no matter the number.
So yeah, I just don't think we've got the engagement. And like I said, I find it weird people are so reluctant to, like, retweet their weird anime games on Twitter or Facebook or something. I know. I guess Facebook, because everybody's grandma uses Facebook now, but Twitter? I mean, have you seen artists on Twitter? Not just Japanese artists, but artists on Twitter in general. I come from a slightly earlier generation of internet usage, where anything remotely naughty was like, oh, you can't share that on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Now without like a big button that says, "Are you over 18?" So I am always eternally shocked at certain images that show up in my Twitter feed that I can't favorite because people can see your favorites.
I have no shame. You go to my Twitter, you're going to be see titty and ass and probably cat videos.
But yeah, so we're getting those rewards. And then there's the big banner rotation.
Oh my god.
So it's Gilgamesh themed this year. Last year it was kind of Skahak themed, but it's Gil's giving us thanks. So Gil's coming back, and there's going to be rotation with Gil, Raiko, Shuten, Skahak, Iskander, Void Shiki, and Ilya. And so this is kind of the New Year's banner, but kind of not, because the original New Year's rotation in Japan was those guys minus Raiko and Shuten, but plus Kintoki and Ishtar, because Ishtar was out. And so they were very nice to you. They were like, hey, you can pull this back. And obviously Musashi was the featured servant. So this is kind of the same, but different. Personally, I expect that means that the New Year's rotation will probably be Musashi and maybe just Ishtar or another couple ones. Like how, for us, New Year's, we kept the Arjuna Karna rate up.
Mm-hmm.
So they have minimized the rate up for New Year's, but there's no GSSR yet. So
I don't know. They can also put Bryn in the New Year's too, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if
Bryn has a chance.
Well, Bryn hasn't shown up in a while, but I don't know how much freedom. Obviously, this is a new rate up for Raiko and Shuten that's completely original. So maybe, but we don't know.
So I feel like you can't like take it off the table, but you know it's kind of wiggly.
I don't.
Like
it's a very wiggly situation. Also,
I said this is kind of bait, but kind of not, because as I said this big banner is gonna.
It's a lot of good limiteds, like really good ones who are not coming back for a while. Like there's a rerun of the Prisma campaign, but there's not a rerun of the event yet. And there's going to be a K&K rerun, but this is one of like the few times you've got another shot at Void. I think I'm going to, because we get some tickets in the event, I'm at least going to spend event tickets on Void's Day.
Like, here's the thing.
And maybe
you gotta remember,
tickets.
this is literally like the banner precursor to say goodbye to your fucking wallets.
Yeah, no, because no matter what happens next, it's going to be brand new servant rate ups.
Yeah.
And I said this at the time when it happened, but I was like, fuck, this tells... there's no GSSR, but there's also no Ishtar in the banner, which tells me nothing. Like, it could literally be either or event. Because obviously if the GSSR was coming, they would have to be releasing Babylonia about this time. They'd have to, because they've said they're never going to nerf a guaranteed again. But, so obviously maybe Babylonia's not coming out right after this, or right in front of this, or with it. But if Ishtar's not included in the rate up, that means that the new Christmas is not necessarily going to happen before it either. And this starts actually it starts tomorrow night, because it starts 18. It runs through that whole week basically.
Mm-hmm.
So like, we've got a few days of the Christmas rerun. We'll talk more about that in a little bit later, but we've only got a few days of that left, and then nothing. This will not obviously be the only thing. Oh, I should also, this wasn't in my notes, but there's going to be half AP dailies during this time. Yeah. As you might expect. There's a half AP something. So, what are they going to do with the rest of the time? It would be really good of them to go ahead, because this is just a banner and login rewards. There's not an event. I mean, there's half AP dailies, but you've just done a rerun. That's like two gap weeks in a row. I don't think they're going to do that, so I don't know.
I don't know.
At the panel, supposedly when asked, Albert said that it was hard to move around story in some cases, so it sounds like we're still going to do Christmas first, because that's when Ishtar drops in Christmas, and then she is a character also in Babylonia, so like there might be some concerns. The way Babylonia is written explicitly, like if you've summoned Ishtar, she is not yet the same character, and possibly never is quite the same character as the one you meet in Babylonia. It's one of those weird situations. Thanks, Fate. So they're not, like, connected. I feel like you could easily edit the dialogue and swap, but I don't know what the Babylonia script looks like, so if it's too much of a pain in the ass for the localizers, it's entirely possible that they can't make it work logistically to flip, which means we might get, like, Christmas in the half of, like, the Christmas event in the last week of November.
Oh, that's gonna make me sad.
yeah, I don't know. Like, fuck, I don't know. I'm gonna be a little sad because of the extra quartz, but whatever. I'll suck it up. I'm at I had my 500 days. I'm at almost 180. I think we're gonna break 200 before the Christmas event comes. We'll see. That's not as much quartz as I've ever rolled on something. But hey, you work with what you got. I've literally not spent quartz since summer, so it's not like there's maybe one set of quartz frags I could have turned into a quartz I missed in there, but not a significant amount yet. So what can you do? Excuse me. Also, I'll let Lucky talk more, but Albert did Q&A about this, so...
Oh, yes. Yes, he did.
Yeah, you were the most spicy about this, but as usual, we have some thoughts and feelings about how the community reacts to some of these panels.
Alright, so... Basically, there was a bunch of questions, and there was one thing, but the thing that got me here is, two questions in particular. One, I don't know if they're jokes or not, but I kind of feel like people should take a good hard look at, themselves and what they want when asking, someone like Albert, our, FGO localization director, the questions, and try to understand the scope of his job and, maybe try to take what he says at value. So there's a bunch of questions. I'm not going to go over it, but there are two that I'm going to mention. One, he asked if there's ever going to be an FGO. Someone asked if there's going to be an FGO and Fire Emblems crossover. From what I heard, there's a lot of laughter at the question. But, guys, really, the game has been out for 3 years. They have never done anything non-Type Moons collabs. I think it's been stated that they never plan to. FGO is not where you go for outside collabs.
Well, also, I think they're open. They're not necessarily against it, I think, if I remember some interviews right, but I feel like they distinctly want to get all the possible Type Moon collabs out of the way first.
Because it's a giant kind of expanded, it's its own universe of multiple dimensions and stuff. And I know people can kind of say, oh, but, if there's ultimate dimensions, they can do other crossovers. No, there's actually reasons of why there's, these ultimate dimensions with fucking kaleidoscope, fucking quantum time lock. It's a thing. It's an actual thing. The one that really fucking steamed me off, I mentioned this, I think, last week. I was probably last week of people stop asking about CCC. People ask it, every single fucking time. And every single fucking time, Albert has said, yes, it's gonna happen. We're gonna make it work.
Yes, apart from that, there was an actual concern early with some of the events that aren't necessarily based on localized material, that there might be some confusion or it might be hard to adapt. But there was never any call for we will actually skip events. Albert said they had a contingency plan for that, but they at no point has and consistently for all of this year at least, Albert has, I think, been saying, no, we're going to get all the events so far that have come out.
Things honestly, things people should be asking about is FGO peripherals, the art books, FGO materials, the new ebook. Maybe,
and we did get some news on some of that. They announced that VR is coming. FGO and VR is coming this next year.
Ask if there's gonna be maybe they'll do a dual audio version of that. Ask about stuff that is actually kind of in the air.
And also, like we said, with the crossover thing, ask about stuff that Albert controls or influences.
Yeah,
because fuck, he doesn't get to decide if they have a collab with Fire Emblem Heroes.
No. He is literally part of this small ass team who deals with translating a game so that English speaking people can enjoy it. So his all concerns should be about, hey, are we going to get this thing that is in Japanese maybe into English?
Yes. And are we going to get it available here? Are you going to sell it in the store?
Yeah.
Now, he has said, basically the question is, we have no idea how we're going to get CCC. Yeah, 3 C's. I wasn't sure if I said enough C's there. We don't know how we're going to get that info to you, because technically you're supposed to have some prior knowledge of the game before you go into the collab. And he's like, I don't know how we're going to get that to people, but we're going to do the event. So it's entirely possible that they're going to dump the event, and it's going to be maybe there'll be a brief summary available on the website, and then if you don't read that, it's just going to be fuck, man, we can't help you. This is the game script that we localized. So there's that, but the event's fucking coming, guys. Stop asking about it. I jokingly asked when we were doing kind of like, because we'd finished What's Up and we're having a little chat with the party members, because we've been doing that lately, hanging out in voice chat. And be sure to jump in our Discord so you can hang out in voice chat with us sometimes, and also maybe set up playdates and stuff.
I'll drunkenly yell at you a lot.
Because I've also gotten to, I like doubled my Steam friends list last night, because I got a bunch of people to like friend me on Steam so we can play Tabletop Simulator sometime with some stuff. But like I asked, half dying of laughter, hey, nobody asked if we're gonna get Prisma still, right? Because that came out. Nobody asked that question. And it seems like nobody did, but I wouldn't be shocked. Because obviously there was a concern because Prisma wasn't licensed by Aniplex US, like the anime wasn't licensed by them in the US, so they're going to be able to get, okay, no, they got it fine. Everything's fine, guys.
Who knows? Maybe they'll just, license fucking CCC Foxtail and say, okay, this is fucking close enough, we're good.
I wouldn't be surprised. That was more in Free Talk, but we can mention, because there's not much else news about it, that, it was announced that officially one of the FGO mangas, Stella Mortalis, I think, has been licensed by... I'm probably going to butcher this name, but that's nothing new to the show. Kodansha, I want to say, was the name? Kodansha? Something that sounds like that thing I said. How many people... we still got a couple patrons. Maybe they'll correct me before the show's over. But they've licensed the FGO manga that's coming... it's not coming until fall 2019, which would be way too late for CCC. So maybe it would be too late to pull Foxtail at this point. But, like, you could do some shit, guys. But seriously, like... Also, FGO's still making shitloads of money. I am sure that if there was a problem, that parent company Aniplex and Sony could just be like, we'll give you some money for licensing so that we don't have any problems here. Which is not a problem with CCC because nobody in the US owns that license. It's not an issue. The issue is that nobody in the US ever bought that license, and the game studio who made it is now dead. So, anyway, yeah. Those are the questions you should ask and should not ask.
It's like, seriously, if you want to go to the localization panel, like, sit down, think about it, ask your friends, write them down so you don't forget. Because I am a little salty about this, but, like, real talk, like, play, like, my own devil's advocate. Standing up in front of a bunch of people and asking a question to someone who is, pretty, well, like, in our scope, pretty fucking important to the game. Mm-hmm. That's not an easy situation. That's not easy to do, especially if you're a bunch of nerds who have a bunch of social anxiety and have trouble speaking to publicly anyway.
Hey, guess what? If we ever ask questions at panels, Lucky's gonna ask them.
Hell yeah, I am.
I'll scribble them down on note cards and hand them to him if I have to. But
yep,
he's the one who's gonna stand up in front of a crowd because fuck that noise.
Mm-hmm. And I'm completely fine with that because guess what? I've had to deal with this kind of shit. Public speaking. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard.
Yeah, but, I mean, like, I'll say this. As watching communities do panels, question-answer panels for many years, for several different types of internet communities, there's always a certain amount of dumb stupidity. Like, I think it's just the nature of you put a spotlight on people and you give them a microphone. They feel the need to ask questions because this is, like, their one opportunity, so sometimes they ask dumb questions. And by sometimes, I mean almost all the time. So I don't really hold that against people. I just accept that when you do Q&A, most of your questions are going to be inane or dumb, or you really should know the answer for yourself, but I will tell you that I can't tell you about spoilers. Duh. So many panels about, like, movies and TVs and shit where they ask spoiler questions, and the answer is just have to be like, just watch the fucking show. I mean, they don't usually curse, but that's what they're saying. Just watch the show and you'll find out. Because we can't fucking tell you. That's not how this works. Alright, also, Lucky, this is also important to you, so why don't you go ahead and read the next section, because I gotta tell a story after this.
Yep. So, in North America, Fate's Day Night, Heaven's Field, Chapter 1 is coming to Blu-ray. Its release date is November 20th, and it's been available for pre-order for fucking months.
Yeah.
Like, I mean this. Like, I ordered mine, back in... Shoot, what was it? I don't want to say summer. I think it was like early fall. I think it was like September. And I got the limited edition because I want all the goodies. Because from what I can tell, it is the original Japanese special edition with like the art, the OST, all that good shit. And of course, I got the Blu-ray version. Guys, if you want to support the industry and tell them that, hey, you know what, bring more shit, buy the shit they have out now.
Buy Blu-rays.
Buy Blu-rays.
It's very important.
But most importantly, we are getting a special commemoration for it with login bonuses for 7 days, ending with the SR Heroic Costume Medusa CE. So it's basically Sakura dressed up as Medusa. It is good Civ.
Yes. Also, there's going to be further login rewards for more CEs over time, and I did not quite...
I believe it's like 1 a month.
Yeah, let me go to the website. You keep reading and talking about this story.
So, like, as I said, basically what they basically did, as I can't remember, I believe this was back when Heaven's Field was first announced, they did this commemoration, but they also did the release of Parvati at the time. We can't do that because, frankly, we're probably not at the proper build to handle Parvati.
Yes. Well, also, Parvati's trial quest, I think, involves Jaguar Man, who's not out until Babylonia. Yeah.
So, can't put her in quite yet. But, that's still fine. They'll probably figure out another way to get in because, interestingly enough, Aniplex US just also posted the subtitle trailer for the second Heaven's Field movie, Lost Butterfly. Like, they just posted it today. It's actually, someone just showed it in our chat.
Yes, okay, so, basically every 20th to 30th for the next 3 months it will be. So, you'll get Heroic Costume Leonardo da Vinci if you log in between 12:20 and 12:30. You'll get Heroic Costume Jeanne d'Arc if you log in from 1:20 to 1:30, and then all the way up to 2:20 to 3:02, because obviously the February, that'll be Heroic Costume Nero Claudius. And if I'm remembering rightly, these are all Sakura dressed up as them.
That's fine by me. As I said, like, this is one of those things. People are always worried about, like, how are they going to get this thing to us? They're going to get the thing to you. It just might have to take a little bit of finagling.
Yeah, because I feel like were these originally Heroic Costume CEs the one where they introduced the GPS feature? I think it might have been.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. This was shit you had to go to showings of Heaven's Field. So obviously we're way past that now, so it doesn't work anymore. So this is actually a really good way to distribute them to us. Hey, remember to log in periodically.
No, this is amazing because over in Japan, that means you have to go to different fucking theaters, walking, maybe buying stuff. No, they're just gonna fucking give them to us. So in this regard, we've come out ahead of Japan.
Yeah, but and honestly, that's probably because we were just talking about app conflicts. There's no fucking way we're ready to have the version of the app that has the location feature, right? Like, that's several months away worth of events in Japan, so it's not like they can just slap that in. I'm pretty sure that's not how apps work.
And not to mention, even if they're trying to do movie things, like, anime movies, especially, like, new ones that are subtitled, where they're gaining popularity, they're not, like, still, like, big cinema features. Yeah, they'll have, like, one screen, like, a couple showings over a weekend, and that'll be it. That's how it was, like, for, like, the first Heaven's Field showing, it was, like, it wasn't even in main theaters. You had to go to, like more locally run theaters to see it. Later, when they actually had the English dub, they moved up to, like, Fathom Events, and that was in bigger theaters.
But still, so, it's very much a niche thing in this country, and it's a lot like the fact that we're probably not going to get arcade at all. Like, Albert, I think, was asked about this and even said there's no news on arcade because it doesn't make any sense here. We have a different type of arcade culture.
You mean a lack of one?
Yes, basically. The arcade culture we have here is we don't have an arcade culture except for Dave & Buster's is still a thing, right?
Yeah, Dave & Buster's and barcades.
Yeah, it's basically it's a food and drink like accessory, right? Yeah. Which is not something you want to associate with FGO Arcade, where you get physical ass cards and like high production value gotchas, and especially not drunk people. So yeah, like our arcade culture has really died out here, and it's very limited, and there's no way.
That makes me sad.
That said, God, if they want to throw some FGO Arcade set at Dave & Buster's locations, we can, road trips, guys. Anyway, there's one less bullet point in this story.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, the commemoration quest and CE. So basically it's just, the basic thing, and you get the CE of one of the keynote images of Sakura, looking creepily out over the sea of I don't know what flowers those are actually. I guess those are presage flowers. Ugh.
And it's brackets Heaven's Field because actual Heaven's Field is, I think, a CE already.
Yes, it is.
But yay, commemoration CEs. More commemoration stuff.
Yeah. We're getting that good stuff.
All right, let's rotate into free talk, I guess.
I guess.
So, bullet point number 1, the voice story. So, some of you may have heard this already. Voice actually did a very good telling of this on one of his recent streams. It was his Aresh stream, his Christmas rerun stream, basically, where he actually, in the first, 10 minutes or so, tells the whole story. But, obviously, some of our audience probably don't necessarily watch his content, period, or maybe they didn't catch that stream. Because, when I heard that he talked about it, I went back and listened to that part, but, God, I don't have, what was it, 3 hours, 40 minutes, 2 hours, 40, whatever. I don't have 3 hours to watch the voice roll for things anymore. I need to use those hours to record shows. Basically, well, he's making content for 3 hours. I need to be making content for 3 hours. That's basically how that works now. If you've watched the last week's episode of Let's Talk FGO, we on a Saturday we recorded that episode. We said to, press F for our homie Voice because he had been rolling hard on Abigail's banner and had not gotten her. And at the time, we were trying to remember how much quartz he'd actually gone in on, and when Voice tells the story, he explicitly says that Lucky threw it out, but it's not like I corrected him, so I would say we both threw it out there. We were like, was it 600? And it was like, no, it was at the time, it was more like 300. We were thinking of Bryn. So we were technically wrong. But,
so he mentioned us while we're talking on the stream? What?
No, he explicitly told the story on stream.
Oh, okay.
By the way, if you're wondering what happened there, Lucky probably didn't hear me when I said that part, because internet. It's not that Lucky is a ditz or anything, it's just sometimes he literally can't hear me.
Yeah.
So, the audio dropped, but the video had not come out yet, as we talked about earlier. There were problems. So I'm trying to think if it was Sunday or Monday, because it was in that block. The audio had come out, and the way Voice talked about it on the stream, it sounded like he'd listened to the episode already, because he can do that.
One of our
patron. Yeah, presumably
Crazy.
For that very reason, so he could go ahead and listen to the episodes. But the video hadn't come out yet, like I said. So, like I said, I don't remember if it was Sunday or Monday, and maybe Editor Lucky will put in some pictures of tweets this week. We don't know. We said I think I said this distinctly in Mod Channel. We'll say we'll do it next time when we tell the story, and then we're both going to forget. So if it's not here, look it up on your own. So at this time, he says he's given a given up tweet. I've spent 560 quartz. I'm done. And so obviously I see that number 560, and I immediately, social media genius that I am, jump on the Studio Mega Twitter account and I say, "Hey Voice, I need you to spend about 40 more quartz so that in the future past, because the episode hadn't come out publicly yet, we're not wrong on Let's Talk FGO." Because of course, that's the immediate thought I have. If you pitch a softball like that, you can't not, right? And Voice, being the eternal good sport that he is, and he even says when he's retelling the story himself, he's like, "All right, for a joke, he's willing to buy." I think it ends up being 42 more quartz is his total, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna buy the quartz at exactly midnight, and I'm only gonna do singles, and I'm gonna do 13 singles." And so he does this. He's posting this in his Discord, which we've talked about before. So there's a lot of reactions going on. He's tweeting them. 4 singles in, Abigail. And yeah, so he got her. He didn't even have to spend quite all the quartz that he bought. And we take 50% credit for that, Abigail. Because he literally wouldn't have rolled that extra quartz unless we threw that joke out there. So technically, I think we're still wrong. He didn't actually... He bought up to 600 quartz, but he didn't actually spend that much on it.
Well, honestly, if I'm rounding, no, that's not the 600. If I'm rounding to the 100, it's 600. That's close enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why Voice probably keeps coming on our show.
The jokes. I even posted a reply when he actually posted that he got her. The contract is sealed. And then that smug motherfucker got Aresh Kigal tickets.
Yeah, he got on his 3rd ticket, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was within 5.
Yeah,
smug prick.
Lucky motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
So
man,
hopefully
now
that
I'm
gives
kinda
us
really-
that gives us some karmic goodwill in the future.
I hope. I'm gonna use it just to say the hopes that Voice just keeps having a good relationship with us.
Yeah, that's fun. And Voice isn't even here today because, like we said, he and his sign, his dumb face hiding sign, are at Anime NYC right now.
Does it have sunglasses?
No, it's a thing, a little quartz on a stick that just says the Voice of St. Quartz.
I need to steal it, and I need to put sunglasses on it.
Yeah, because in case anybody's
comes to
forgotten, that is our official Voice of St. Quartz image, is a quartz with some fucking aviator shades on it.
If he comes to SakuraCon, I'm gonna steal that sign.
Voice, you have been warned. Like, he's gonna steal your fucking sign.
Well,
And
no, I've
there's-
already planned it. Like, if Voice comes, like, the SakuraCon, I'm gonna, like, follow him around and just take, like, menacing pictures of my hand holding a chisel behind his back. And just with the words, soon.
Uh-huh. There's our social media campaign future. The chisel. Remember, everyone, you can post your chisel memes if you approach Voice for pictures at any convention. Make sure to have your chisels. And now, if anybody does that, we've claimed official credit. That was our joke and our idea. TM. We accept
let's get it
royalties
through.
in the form of Patreon subscriptions. No, I'm kidding. Or am I?
I'm pretty sure I can get a chisel in this convention.
Yeah, I mean, they're not. They don't have to be super sharp. You could just buy a fucking fake toy chisel.
Nah, I'm not gonna get a fake toy chisel. I'm gonna get a real chisel. I'm just gonna get a small one.
I mean, yeah, it's not like they're really weapons. The whole point is you have to drive it in with a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's the Voice story. That was fun for us. Just
That was really cool.
little social media things that happen because I follow Voice on multiple Twitter avenues, and sometimes the social, like, as much as we talk about how people don't always seem engaged, the social media scene's pretty strong. So there's never a reason not to do something on Twitter or, like, as a little gag. Which reminds me, I still haven't done that joke I thought about. I have a new phone for purposes of being a phone, and because I'm getting tired of my battery running out, I put Azure Lane on it as an experiment. Because running 3 gacha games on one phone eats my battery up. So I keep thinking to myself, I need to finally do that joke. I need to use the AR camera and put Hood in her wedding dress on my bed. Just because I've had that joke since I think I bought the Oath skin months ago, and I'm like, fuck, I should do that with the AR camera sometime just for laughs. I haven't gotten around to it. Anyway. Well, so, let's see. Let's change the order up here. We've just done me talking for a long time. Let's have Lucky yell for a while. Hey, let's talk about Extella Link.
Oh my god! So, it's recently come out with news, like, as everyone should know, Fate Extella Link was pushed back into Q1 of the new year. So probably sometime, like, the February, March area. There's a lot of games coming out then. Maybe they're trying to capitalize on the interest. And for a while, we over here in the US, we're just getting a not quite what Japan has for the special edition. It's basically all the same stuff, except no Mahjong tiles. Which, initially, I was okay with. Because, I could spring for them. Maybe at some future point I'll get them. I was like, no big deal. Whatever. Until recently, like in the past few days, I found out that the European version of Extella Link is getting an additional special edition, which has the fucking Mahjong sets in it.
Yeah, so basically it recently came out that the EU version was officially renounced, and they were like, there's the Joyose pack, which is the same as our Fading Glory edition, which is cloth poster, cards, diorama soundtrack.
Yeah.
And then they also announced they would be doing Champion of Paladins edition, which is all that shit, and also the Mahjong tiles.
Now, like, I've been playing, like, if they had brought this up, like, maybe, 2 weeks ago, I probably wouldn't be mad. I'd be all like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Because, you know what, I could still fucking buy, like, the EU version and all that crazy stuff. But since I've been playing Yakuza Kiwami, and I've actually learned how to play Mahjong, I actually want to play fucking Fate Mahjong. And the crazy thing is for some odd reason, like, I can't explain this. Maybe it just might be, like, distribution or whatever. But their versions of the, like, their video games are way more expensive over there than over here in the US. Like, from what I understood of, like, currency conversion, like, their standard special edition is like $100, where ours is like, what, like 80? Like 78?
Yeah, so officially
like
the Fading Glory is $79.99.
Yeah. And over there, it's pushing 100. So I was like, damn. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to, like, pay that much for fucking Mahjong tiles. Especially because, like, to play, if I was going to actually play Fate Mahjong, I would need 4 sets of the Mahjong tiles. Which is kind of crazy.
So here's a live currency conversion for you. The Joyusei edition for PS4 or Switch is listed as £74.99, which converts to about $96 US. So it's almost $100, as opposed to here where it's 80 plus some tax. The Emperor of Paladins edition is basically £120, which in USD converts to $154 US.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So,
which I would expect if they did actually do this release in the US. We don't know why they're not doing it, but if they did it, I would guess probably between like $100 and $120.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll hope to see like someone's just gonna sell like 4 sets of the Fate Mahjong like by themselves. Because I actually looked at them; they're really fucking cute.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, you might have to import, but I bet there are like resellers who have spare copies.
Yeah. So I might do that because, as I said, I'm trying to build a, I don't want to say board game, but like a game collection of stuff. And Mahjong is fun. It really is. The rules are complicated and fucking the rules aren't complicated, but scoring is fucking complicated, and that's really the only big deal with it. So I want to play it. How dare you, Marvelous? How dare you? Apparently, Marvelous might actually be a British or European company because like their actual site has everything listed in pounds too. I was like, what?
Yeah, which is at the moment very specifically English.
Yeah.
Because if it was purely European, they'd be listed in euros.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Actually, I could just look up Marvelous's company. Like, where are they based at?
Yeah,
Marvelous Games.
Marvelous and Exceed. But yeah, so that's just our thoughts. I think probably gonna go ahead and personally spring for just the regular old Faded Glory edition. Get my diorama, get my other cloth poster, get my cards. Soundtrack's probably cool.
I don't know. It is based in Japan. Then why the fuck?
I don't know. Maybe they got. I mean, the Japanese love the English. Where do you think they get those fucking uniforms from? Anyway, yeah, that was just more news and thoughts about Extella Link.
Oh, maybe it's because they have a actual Marvelous Europe. Maybe they're the ones handling localization.
Could be. Like I said, because my first thought was, is Mahjong even popular in the US? But apparently, yes. So my second thought is, does that mean that they have some kind of like production or printing issue? Like they'd have to like make the fucking Mahjong tiles in China and ship them across the Pacific to the US version, and that's just not worth it, considering how many they're going to sell, right? As opposed to maybe they have local production assets in the EU. I don't know. Business is complicated, guys. All right. So I think that's everything on Extella Link, other than we're super excited to play that and record it when it comes out.
I should buckle down and get me a fucking recording, just a basic one like Omega has. I want to build me a new computer, but I'm like, I don't know how long this is going to take.
Yes, hardware and software is our eternal bottleneck, ladies and gentlemen.
It really is.
Time is a little bit, but I bet if we had our full hardware software setups, we could focus a lot more time on this shit. Because we'd have all the tools we need.
Excuse me, every time I have to render a video, that's like 4 hours I have to spend away from my computer.
Yeah, no, I had that thought yesterday. I had to render What's Up, and I even said in chat, I'm like, well, so I gotta render a video. That means I can't play Tabletop Simulator or Terraria right now. Because I gotta do stuff for the channel. I'll go put my laundry away. I'll write some shit on Google Docs, because that doesn't use any fucking memory. Like, literally, I can't... We've already discussed in What's Up, you can hear some of my woes that my computer doesn't run games real great right now. It's just not... I don't think it's optimized for it. Like, I've got Windows 7 Professional, so it runs a lot of programs great, but it's not gaming optimized. So, like, Terraria is, like, one of the few things it runs cleanly. And it would not start last night while I was rendering a video. I checked, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's not getting enough CPU cycles for this. Rendering the video is sucking up everything. This has been our 10 minutes of hey, here's what the channel is like. By the way, we're at almost an hour, so
All right.
this is good. Our Xmas rerun thoughts will be pretty short. The rerun's fun. Honestly, besides just the fact that, goddamn my fucking finger, a lot of events, right?
Yep.
I'm
doing
should
it
we
right
do a
now.
box check?
I am on my 3rd box.
Same. Cool. We're about the same level. I know some people are done already, and I'm like, okay.
Some people were like done first day, and it's all like, oh wait, we only get like 8 boxes.
Yeah, I know some people fucked up and they emptied boxes out before they should have, but some people did not fuck up and just burned through all the boxes. Which I can't blame them. I mean, there's fucking Void Dust and Fangs and Evil Bones and lots of EXPs in the boxes. They're great boxes. There's skill gems in these boxes.
Man, I am broke again because I got some skill gems. I finally got Tomo's first 2 skills up to 6 each. I am fucking broke though. The 20 million I need to get Fox's Wedding to 10 is an eternity away.
Yep. I mean, there's QP in these boxes too, but not nearly enough.
Not nearly enough, no. But finally I'll be able to start putting some of my more used servants like Raiko and actually most of them just thinking about Raiko. Maybe Jack.
Well, speaking of Jack,
Yeah,
I gotta say, the first time I did this event, I was super skimped out on event servants. I don't think I could even do the 40 AP as reliably because, like, it was like, okay, I've got a Santa altar I'm working on. I have to level her through this event. And then I've got Caesar, and I've got, who else is on the event list? David. My David wasn't fully leveled yet because I've come to appreciate some of his skills as a single target archer. Who else are bonus servants? If they weren't
Robin
gold,
Hood,
I probably had them.
David Hood, Caesar, Darius.
Yeah, I did nothing with Darius. I had him, but I didn't do anything with him. Jin K I used a lot because I didn't have Jack.
Yeah,
and I guess Mary.
Nursery Rhyme, Jack, Martha. Was Maria serving?
Yeah, Mary's in there.
Yeah.
Martha, and then you can get like Phantom Jin K, Robin Hood, some of those others. So yeah, when you to me, when you add, first of all, I already have a max level, max ascension, Saber Altar, and also I've got a max level, max ascension Jack, and also a max level, max ascension Rhyme. Fuck, this event becomes way easier. I still don't have a Martha,
I'm doing the 40 AP
goddamn.
right now. My lineup is literally Santa Altar, Martha, friend Santa Altar.
Yeah,
this is a fucking breeze.
I do Jack Double Santa, which works just as well because holy shit, Jack, Christ. Oh, this event was what taught me the joys of support Jack. So I'm so glad I have my own murder daughter. Because goddamn,
she's a good murder daughter. Give her many hearts and hot hats.
The other primary thing I like most about this event is like, okay, so going through the event again, the jokes are fine. The second time they remind you of some stuff. Honestly, what's more exciting to me is watching new people experience this for the first time, because that's much like with the last rerun. This is the first time quite a lot of people have played this game or this event, right? Like, some people weren't into the game during that Christmas time period. Some people didn't start playing until the New Year or the first anniversary, right? So I'm seeing a lot of people like screen capping the jokes and talking about this stuff, and like it's bringing the conversation back up again, which gives me real excitement because, like we always say, the writing is the heart and soul of this game.
It really is. Like, I found new for an appreciation, going over things like when Astolfo showed up, and I was like, tee-hee, I have my own Astolfo. And it's like, other thing, and knowing more things about servants, interacting like Martha, after dealing with her.
Yeah, that's right. Jelters is going to come up as a boss, isn't she? In one of the story quests? And she's still going to be a ruler?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be funny because
so
I'm going to kill Jelter with my regular Jelter.
Yeah.
Trust no one, not even yourself. Yeah, it's weird. It's literally been, obviously it's been over a year since we started doing the show because we had that episode, but like it's much like the Halloween, but this is literally something we did while we were recording around a year ago. And like it's so interesting to see how far we've come in the game and like as a community and stuff too. I still don't have any fucking CEs for this because there's no point on me rolling on this banner. Like before I didn't roll on the banner because there's like fucking 8 quartz for Mordred. But even now, it's like, fuck, I have all the stuff on this banner. I have marriage. I have an NP2 marry. I have Rhyme and Jack. It's just interesting how that works out. Yeah, I guess we don't really have any thoughts. We're just, I actually have decided I love reruns.
Like I said, the writing's good. It still makes me laugh.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, just you can be so chill about it. You can relax. You can just spend natural AP. Maybe I'll throw some silver apples at the end, and I'm like, fuck, I only got a couple boxes left. Or
like,
maybe I won't, because
apples,
guess what? There's other than is there, I guess, a crystallized lore in it?
Yeah. Like, honestly, I'm doing this for fucking skill gems and skill gems, QP, and fucking embers. Like,
yeah, no, like the EXPs are so great. I'm leveling so many people. I'm gonna max level Bedivere soon. I got Herc to max ascension, so I might relax for a while and focus on ascending other people. Actually, I should have put this in achievements, but I did it a while ago, so I forgot until just now. I finally got Tesla to level 90. That took me fucking forever.
What?
Yeah. So just the constant stream of gold and silver EXPs is so great. I'm gonna get so many servants leveled from this event, which is good because Babylonia and Solomon are gonna suck butts. They're gonna be rough. They're gonna be hard. Which we will tell you all about when they actually announce this fucking releases. Please, Aniplex, announce things.
I want to know.
Maybe not the Nero Fest 10 days before it comes out, but at least 3 days. I'd love a week in advance on some things, if I can be honest.
I don't know. I'm gonna get nervous.
It's gonna be
hella nervous.
It's gonna be a real clusterfuck. But we've been saying that literally since this game started. Hey, guess what? The 2 year December sucks for a lot of reasons. It's also great, but it sucks.
How much courts do I have? I think I'm at 110.
Like I said, I'm at just about 180 now, a couple short. I think I'll maybe not tonight, but the next day I'll get the 2 courts I need, and then I'll be at 180 exactly. Because thank you, 500 days. God damn.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's why.
Days.
That's why. Yeah, we have. But that's why I don't have more, because I did the YOLO 10 roll and I got fucking Artoria. That's right. Let's see if my luck holds.
Who you can't afford to feed.
Yeah, I can't. And she is very angry. I am probably gonna throw all my cords at this fucking limited SSR banner, because god.
Are you gonna wait for just the day where they're all in a raid up and say fuck it?
Yeah, probably.
Actually, Lucky, are you sure you want to do that? Because you have both Shuten and Raikou, don't you?
Yeah, Shuten, Raikou. I have Skahawk, but I don't have Void, or Gil, or
you might want. In that case, you might want to, like I said, because I'm gonna at least throw the 3 tickets we get for the event on Void's Day, and depending on what they announce, maybe when the Christmas event ends, I might throw all my monthly tickets, because I'm rolling big on courts. A couple extra tickets isn't gonna matter for Ishtar. So if they announce that Christmas is next, I'll be like, okay, I can buy more tickets in the monthly shop for Babylonia.
Here. So I don't have Gilgamesh, Iskander, and Void, but that I do have. So honestly, I
don't need Void because I have 2 SSR AoE sabers, but I want Void, so tickets.
Yeah, as I said, so honestly, I already have there's 7 SSRs and I have 4 of them, but those specifically Void, I think there's literally only gonna be one more chance.
Yeah, I think there's there's another she shows up occasionally in anniversaries or New Year's banners like this. We can expect Void to show up off and on in events like this Thanksgiving one, but that's about it.
Yeah.
It's only when they decide to throw a bunch of rando limiteds at you.
Yeah, so I might just hold off for specifically Void, but actually no, I might just throw all my tickets at Void. Let's see how that works, and then I'll see how if I feel about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but Void is cool. Void is cool. She can be your fucking she is your transdimensional fucking I am fucking everything yet nothing wife.
Mm-hmm.
Because
she's a different character, you can actually wife a Void. That's
yeah.
Once again, the classic split. You can actually do that.
Yeah. Because
Void is a different person. All right. So I think that's all our free talk.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's our time? We're at about an hour 10, but we said this week we would do Servant Spotlight Jack. So, what do you think?
Well, it shouldn't take that long.
All right. So we said we'd do this last week, aka a couple days ago, for the public. Well, I don't know. At the very least, this episode will take a couple days to edit, so it'll have been longer by the time it comes public anyway. But at the time we're recording, because of the delay, it's 2 days after it went public. But we said we're going to do Servant Spotlight on Jack, because I was like, I don't know if I want to do a wanted on Jack. Also, by the way, So technically we could do a wanted on Void and Gil. I'm just, because there's so many SSRs, I'm not going to do any specific ones for this banner. There's too many of them at once. And also it starts tomorrow, so I'd have to like kill myself to get those videos like researched and edited together in time. There wasn't enough turnaround with the fact that we also have 2 regular shows. So maybe we'll do a servant spotlight on them instead. People in general, let me know your thoughts. Because Thanksgiving is on a Thursday, it won't affect our recording, so we will have plenty of time to take feedback and talk about some stuff on the show. Otherwise, I might just wait until like it'll be a while, but I might just wait until like the K&K rerun to do one on Void and stuff. But if you want to watch videos on Iskandar, Shuten, Raiko, or Skahawk, or Ilya, all 5 of those we have wanted videos on, some of which are quite popular. Check those out. But we said we'd talk about Jack, so we're here.
Here we are.
We're going to do this pseudo-wanted form. Actually, that reminds me, I need to go ahead and pull up Jack's in-game page so that I can talk about skills and stuff and all the mechanical stuff that Lucky doesn't talk about. Lucky just looks at Jack and goes, "She makes stars. Stars good."
Honestly,
stars.
it is. Like, if you get Jack and you get quick, or arts quick, that's what you choose. You don't choose anything else. You don't need anything else.
Yes. So, like, before we even get into the details, it's very easy to high level. Jack has one of the... she's an assassin who has the great star generation of assassins, and then she's got 3 5-hit quick cards. And she's got high-level presence concealment, so, yeah.
Yeah, like, there have been times where I have broken 50 stars with just like Jack alone. It happens.
Yeah, she real good.
Nuts.
So obviously, real life history wise, Jack the Ripper is the best known name for a completely unidentified serial killer who was active in the areas of Whitechapel in London in 1888. So Jack is actually quite recent as far as servants go, but super mystery because we literally don't know. To this day, no one is entirely sure who the Jack the Ripper killing was. There may have been multiple Jack the Rippers because there are only 5 canonical murders. There are victims that are for sure the Ripper, and then there might be later copycats.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, kind of like a huge open-ended thing, right? Which is why there are actually multiple Jacks in Fate, and why Jack is so mutable, I think. The name Jack the Ripper comes from a letter that was written by somebody claiming to be the murderer, but I believe the general discussion is that the letter is a hoax, but that's the name we know, so that's what we got. Lots of murders in Whitechapel, and there's lots of other stuff going on. There have been attempts to, like, figure out who it was. There were over, I think, 100 theories as to who they could have been, but we just don't know. There's long lists of suspects. There were lots of letters. There were actually a couple of particular ones, which I know From Hell is the name of Strange Fake Jack's, one of Strange Fake Jack's noble phantasms. So I wonder if there are other Jacks who have other noble phantasms like Dear Boss and Saucy Jackie, which are the official names of some of these letters. So the Dear Boss letter is a letter which talks about written in red ink, and then it just basically talks about some of the letters. Let's see, it was sent to the Central News Agency of London. From Hell is a different one, which is just it says From Hell, and then it says Mr. Lusk, which is a builder and decorator. He was chairman of the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee, who was like the neighborhood watch. So it says the letter is From Hell, Mr. Lusk, catch me if you can, basically. And then the Saucy Jackie postcard, it's a short postcard that's like, not coddling dear old boss. You'll hear about Saucy Jackie's work. Lots of stuff like that. Most of them are, like, I think, given, like, they're considered hoaxes.
Yep.
But there's a lot of mystery about this. So far that in the 1970s, the term ripperology was coined just to describe the fact that there's so much study and speculation into this. The killer was also thought of as the Whitechapel murderer and the leather apron, as that was supposed to be something that was attributed to them. So yeah, there's we could talk for hours about the speculation of Jack the Ripper. Let's not, just because
There's a lot, and it's very gory.
Yeah, but if you want to become a ripperologist, you can on your own. Do that on your own time. So Jack in Fate appears in Fate Apocrypha. The interpretation of Jack is a very specific one as an assassin, as kind of a ghost fusion dance of undead ghost babies who want to return to their mother by stabbing mother.
This is the point of this is that all of the canonical Jack the Ripper victims, basically all of them had their abdomens and genitals basically gouged out with knives.
Uh-huh.
Like, that was something that actually happened.
Yep. So this Jack is a theoretical what if of Jack if Jack was a murder ghost.
Yeah.
A ghost who stabs. And thus that is why she has her weird fixation with mommy, and she's got her like her odd like body structure. Like, she appears very childlike, but also she's short, but she's not like super short, and in Apocrypha anyway, like, she was considered to have like very defined strong legs in her artwork as kind of like this weird amalgamation of being both a child and also an adult kind of thing, because she's a ghost. She's not even real, bro. How can knives be real if Jack the Ripper's not even real? Deep questions. So Jack is very prominent in Fate Apocrypha. She should be assassin of black, but or is she supposed to be assassin of red? I don't remember.
Semiramis?
Yeah, no. So yeah, she's assassin of black, and they got derailed. The guy who was supposed to summon her got murder stabbed, and so black faction lost their assassin.
Yeah.
And she shows up in a couple big episodes. She's a big turning point for both Jean and Atalanta because Jack is a ghost. Some stuff happens. Some people get upset.
Real talk, what is the catalyst to summon Jack the Ripper? Would have been like
well,
one of the original letters?
in Apocrypha, I'm pretty sure the magus was going to stab a prostitute, so...
Oh.
I think that's what he was going for.
Oh, God, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right, because I'm pretty... Yeah, the person, her mommy... Yeah, that's right. How do you get that... Oh, my God, I don't know.
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
It's like, I'm gonna stab this person and get a servant, like...
In Strange Fake, Fake Jack is summoned because Waver gives his student a knife and he says it's from Jack the Ripper, but it's a fake knife, so the kid uses it and he gets a fake Jack, which is hilarious.
Honestly, I can understand how that works, because, like, during the investigation, there was a lot of stuff sent in for, like, people trying to, like, figure this out, and, like, newspapers, like, hundreds of letters.
Yeah, so
like,
that's the Berserker Jack, who is, like, ironically ultra calm, but is, like, super shapeshifty.
It makes sense.
So, yeah. And obviously Jack has a little bit of focus in FGO. She's a major character that premieres in some parts of the Christmas event, along with her buddy Rhyme, which sets up your nursery trio.
Your Smalls.
Which soon Small John will join that team and actually have synergy.
Yeah!
You can actually run the
Team
Jack
Lily.
Rhyme John Santa Alter Lily team. Also, she shows up in London. Duh. But yeah, that's about it for, I think, story involvement. So let's talk about her mechanics. We talked about this before. She's got 3 quick cards that got 5 hits. She's only got 2 hits on her arts card, but her NP charge is very good. Despite that, she's actually slightly more weighted to HP than attack, but only a little bit. Her skills are great. So Murder on a Misty Knight A, which is actually one of her Noble Phantasms, gives her 1 turn of evade and gives her up to 50% self-quick up for 1 turn, so it's an NP steroid. Information Erasure is a great fucking skill, which removes one enemy's buffs every 5 turns and also lowers their crit chance. And that's actually one of Jack's inherent skills, which is basically, without some kind of special protection, you forget about Jack after Jack leaves. You just forget all information because nobody knows who or what Jack is. And then, ultra ironically, Jack has Surgery E, which is actually a really good single target heal, because it's on a 4-turn recharge and it goes up to 2,500 on 10. So Jack actually makes a really great pocket healer. Like we said, she has a high level of presence concealment, so her star drop rate is super high. And then she's got her Noble Phantasm, which gives her 1 turn of increased damage against females. So not just her Noble Phantasm, but her whole turn. So if you want to do NPQQ, and this scales with overcharge, so it starts at like 50% bonus damage and goes to 100% bonus damage, and then it's a single target quick, so it's got a huge fucking damage multiplier. And it's also got an interlude, which increases the damage multiplier even more. Which basically means Jack's role as a mechanical unit is stars and anti-female. Guess what? There are a lot of female writers. Jack is good at killing them. And out of that, like we said, she's a star machine. Like, okay, Fragments of 2030 is great. Hans is great. Just throw a couple quick cards at Jack. She'll get you a shitload of stars. Like, we if you dig through our Twitters, I think we have a couple of old tweets, both of us, about just Jack's crazy high star gen.
Yeah.
The first time this event happened, this Christmas event, because that's when she was first available, and it was just like, holy shit. Everybody in my team has 100% crit chance. That was the first time I'd ever seen that. And I think that's still almost only the time I ever, get that many.
I think the only time I've ever gotten more crit stars than I ever have with Jack the Ripper is the time I used double Atalante, and I fired off both her Phoebe Catastrophes in the same.
Yeah, that would also probably do it, because that's ironically that's also something Atalante does very well. Her NP is all about big stars.
Yeah.
But Jack is about making sure that you don't need to care about star weight, because you have so many fucking stars. Atalante can either make stars for other people, or then she can pop her star weight up and be like, and now these stars come to me. Slurping stars. That's our official terminology.
The what?
I'd say that's our official terminology. Slurping stars.
Slurping stars. Now I'm just thinking about how this, like, so Atalante does have this kind of same thing as Jack going on. They're all connected!
Thieves.
And Jack.
Yeah, that's it. We don't need to talk about Jack's rarity, because she's, permanent now. You can be spooked at any time, like I was, on a ticket. Not on her rate up.
Jack. Shit. Did I get Jack last? No, when did I get?
I don't know. It was sometime last year. You got her before me. It was in one of your big spending sprees on courts. Did you get her with Bryn?
No. I didn't get. I got her with when I was rolling for Shoot-In. I remember that.
That was it. You got literally spooked. You called. Yeah, you called your shot too.
Yeah. And I couldn't be mad because I wanted my motherfucking martyr dog. And that's why. And I had this whole identity crisis of like, I want to be mad, but I can't. What is this feeling? Is this frustration? No, because I got Jack. Lay on the ground.
Despair, but also despair.
Despair. Also, I did some quick reading. Apparently the mag just had like fucking 8 of the knives of the Ripper, but for some odd reason they didn't work, so he decided to fucking to kill a prostitute using the knives. But that still wasn't it. It was actually the prostitute wanting to live that was the catalyst for summoning Jack. Kind of crazy.
Apocryph's fun, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. This episode is almost an hour and a half. R.I.P. Editor Lucky with new software.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Our poll for Teach Me Omega Sensei is done for this month. With a resounding 6 votes, What is a Reality Marble has won. There was no need for Lucky to tiebreak. We will probably do that next week, because, well, we didn't write it this week, and this episode's already forever long, so we can't.
Forever!
It'll be sometime in there. Before the month is over, probably. In fact, you know what? If I don't ever add probably to the end of a statement, assume it probably is there. That's kind of how we operate.
We're going to record. It's going to be the Black Friday weekend next time we record.
Yep. Oh, well, then if we want to do it in the same month, we'd have to, because 2 weeks from now is the 1st.
Yeah.
Fuck, November's almost over. And I think I said this earlier, but yeah, because Thanksgiving is in the middle of the week, it's on a Thursday, there shouldn't be any effects to our recording schedule. I'm not traveling anywhere or anything.
I've already said, like, if Omega has to go out for, like, family reasons, I am down to clown with, like, doing this show entirely by myself. It might be, like, only, like, 45 minutes, maybe a half hour, as I wildly tangent, but I can do it.
Well, like I said, we will probably have to do that in December, because I do have a family thing the weekend before Christmas, which I cannot get out of. So, Ironically, literally on my birthday on the 29th of December, we won't have that problem because we'll be here with you.
Yeah, because we care and we love you.
But yeah, for Thanksgiving, that's not a problem. We don't have to worry about Black Friday or anything. We'll be fine.
I don't know. I might be salty if I can't get some sweet fucking deals. I don't know. I get paid like that Wednesday.
Nice. My budget has to stay where it is because you just don't fucking know.
It's like I'm gonna have to go out with a machete and riot gear.
Yeah. Everybody be safe on Black Friday because that'll have already happened by the next episode comes out. So everybody have a happy Thanksgiving and shop responsibly. Also eat responsibly on Thanksgiving.
I will shop recklessly and vicariously.
But yes, so that's I think we're gonna wound down the show here.
Yeah. Final thoughts. Here's something I wrote at the beginning of the show because it's true. I'm a sleepy boy. Like, I am literally running on empty, so if anything has sounded like super weird or tangenty or just kind of out there for me, that's why. I drank too much, yelled a lot, and didn't get as much sleep as I should have. I had real good,
Also, there might be some weird background noise if editor Lucky didn't catch it, and I have to go yell at people afterward about acceptable volume levels when I've got my recording sign on. But anyway, editing.
I didn't hear anything specifically, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's because Discord is smart and doesn't pick up every little sound that my microphone does, but the recording does.
Heck.
Anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll do noise cancellation, and nobody will have heard anything anyway because you put that lovely music in.
Oh, yeah,
but there may have been some times where sounds distracted me. But once again, editing should make it so you can't tell. Anyway,
all
right.
Magic.
I think the episode's done. We're gonna wrap it up before an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I will say, if you like this episode, give it a like. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section down below. You can also get in our Discord in the description. Just have to read it. Read those descriptions. And of course, if you are new here and have not already, please subscribe to our channel. And even if you have already subscribed, don't forget to hit that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new episode. In case, an episode falls into the swamp 3 times. And as always, as it says at the front of the show, you can consider supporting us on Patreon. You never have to worry about delays if you give us just $1 a month to get the audio version downloadable right away as soon as we're done recording and editing the audio. And Omega makes the thumbnail. It's right there. And also you can get lots of other goodies, and it would make us feel peachy keen. We're up to 26 patrons and $140 every month.
Yeah, someone just let us know that they actually upgraded their Patreon. I was all like, thank you. This makes me feel fucking loved.
Mm-hmm. It makes us feel happy inside. And we talked about those incidental costs. Anyway, that's the show. We're going to go ahead and let you guys know. Next week, we'll talk about whatever the fuck happens next, because, goddamn, we just don't know.
We don't. We're in the dark. No flashlights. I'm going to get eaten by a Gru.
Yes, I let Lucky go on that long because I was wondering where he was going to stop.